this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth about semen retention and increased attraction from women. We'll be looking at some scientific studies which show where this belief actually comes from, why we should be taking these scientific studies with a pinch of salt or maybe a grain of salt. I'll be sharing with you my own experience around this stuff, and then towards the end of this video, I'll be giving you the one key that unlocks real attraction in women. Okay, so make sure to stick to the very end of this video so that you can get access to this one key and how you can use it in your life. Okay, now where does this belief actually come from that semen retention increases attraction, that NoFap is the key towards having superpowers and being a super attractive man? Well, it all comes down to testosterone levels. Okay, I've made another video about this which you can check out over here, but the gist of it is that between 1 week to 3 weeks, when men are instructed to abstain from sexual activity, then their testosterone levels rise as a byproduct of that. Okay, now what does testosterone have to do with attraction? Well, there are a bunch of studies which show that higher testosterone levels in men increase the perceived facial masculinity of men. Okay, whether that's a sharper jawline, whether that is more symmetry in the face, whether that is a deeper voice, testosterone is related to all of these things. Okay, and there's another study which stands out where they brought in one attractive female student. They instructed a bunch of men to compete for her attention. And what they found was that the higher the pre-competition levels were of the man, the more the woman indicated that she quote unquote clicked with each man. Now, of course, these are the preferences of one woman. We can't use the results of the study and apply them to every woman. But the fact is that higher testosterone levels in men lead to you being more assertive, lead to you being more confident, lead to you having a deeper voice, and all of these characteristics have been associated with masculinity. And if a woman is in her feminine and has feminine polarity, then your masculine polarity will automatically be more attractive to her. Okay, now the fact is that in my own experience, when I went through the personal development journey of increasing my own testosterone levels, because I thought that testosterone levels were the holy grail and this was all that I needed to do to become the most capable version of myself, I increased my testosterone levels from 564 to 902 nanograms per deciliter. Okay, I changed my mind, I changed my body, and I changed my life as a result of it. Okay, I developed the confidence and the capability to go ahead and talk to women and communicate my value to women as well. Now, although I was successful in this, in getting attraction from women, because I had built up self-esteem, I had made commitments, I had kept commitments to myself, and I was able to get attraction from women. But the reality is that I still had a dysfunctional relationship with sex in my head. Okay, there's marketing messages coming in that use sex to sell products. And then on the other side, there are these religious programmings that show sex being taboo in our lives. And this conflict really causes a lot of us to have a dysfunctional relationship with sex. Okay, now this dysfunctional relationship is what led me to be unable to have long-lasting relationships in my life, to sustain a relationship over the long term. Because when I was going into the stages of expressing my sexuality, I was unable to fully satisfy my partner. I was going through premature ejaculation. I didn't even know how to go about having sex, okay, because we aren't taught that, even though this is something that is natural to every man. It's like our image of what it should be like is based on pornography, which is like completely unrealistic, and it messes with our brain even further. And that is something that was my only image of what sex should look like. So I was trying to sustain an image, I was trying to perform, but that only led me to having more anxiety. And then eventually that anxiety built up to the point where I was suffering from erectile dysfunction. Even though I had the highest testosterone levels in my life, I was still suffering from erectile dysfunction, and getting to the root of that was actually getting clear on my own relationship with sex in the first place. Okay, so really understand that semen retention, the context that I'm talking about it in this video is through the lens of sexual kung fu. Okay, I made another video on the 4 rules of sexual kung fu, which you can check out over here, but it's really about looking at sexuality as a bridge towards spirituality, okay? Attaching sexuality with a sacred attachment rather than something that you do, rather than something that needs to be performed, rather than something that needs to have anxiety attached to it. It is a bridge towards forming a deep, passionate relationship with someone, balancing the masculine and feminine polarities within us, and using that as a bridge towards higher levels of consciousness and bringing harmony within us. Okay, this is stuff that I was completely unaware of before I started on this journey, but now diving deep after going through the struggle of performance anxiety, of erectile dysfunction, of premature ejaculation, I have been able to get to the core of what role sexuality actually has in my life as a bridge towards higher levels of consciousness. Okay, so what is that one key that unlocks real attraction from women? That one key is perceived social status. All right, how do you treat other people? How do other people treat you? And most importantly, how do you treat yourself? Because we are engaged in the process of self-improvement, of semen retention. We are engaged in this. We are eating healthy. We are going to the gym. All of these things are what really build real attraction. Okay, when you make commitments and keep them to yourself, that is when you have confidence. That is when you have high self-esteem. That is when you respect yourself. Okay, and until you respect yourself, you cannot expect anyone else to respect you. And until you are able to communicate what your values are, until you are clear on who you are as a person, until you are clear on what your boundaries are, what is acceptable for you, what is not acceptable for you, what your purpose is in life, these are the things that really build attraction. Okay, these are the things that are communicated through our sub-communications, through our vocal tonality, through how we carry ourselves, through how people respond to us, and really it comes down to the judgment that you place on yourself. Okay, whatever judgment that you place on yourself is the judgment that the world will accept. So it really, at the end of the day, it's not about having high testosterone. It's not about practicing semen retention. It's not about having a jacked up body. These are all side effects of us having self-respect, of us building the self-respect through keeping commitments to ourselves. Okay, and that is really what it all comes down to. It comes down to confidence on who you are as a person, what values you stand for, what your boundaries are, and what your purpose is in life. Because if you are not clear on these things, then you will continuously be looking for the next quick fix, whether it's a next pickup line, whether it's like semen retention even as a quick fix, or any other strategy, technique, or practice. These are just cover-ups. Okay, we need to set a solid foundation, which is our values, what we stand for, what our purpose is. Okay, that needs to be in place before we look at the strategies and tactics on how we can bring that into fruition. Okay, so really this is a call for you to get to the core of attraction, which is the communication of social status, which is communicated through how you perceive yourself. Okay, at the end of the day, just keep one thing in mind. You are watching this video because you want increased attraction from women, and you might want a girlfriend and you're unable to do so. But the one thing to keep in mind, this is something that took me a long-term time to realize, that until you have a deep, fulfilling, satisfying relationship with yourself, you cannot, it's impossible for you to have a deep, fulfilling, passionate relationship with anyone else. Okay, it starts with you. And until you respect yourself, until you keep commitments to yourself, until you make the decisions that are in alignment with what you deem valuable, nothing else matters. Okay, it starts with you and it ends with you. And only when you are full in your own expression, when your cup floweth over, that is when you can give to others. Okay, when there are two people coming into a relationship, when they are both needy, when they are both trying to get something, that sets the foundation for a toxic relationship. Okay, I've mentioned this in other videos, but when you are taking care of yourself, when you are making commitments to yourself, when you respect yourself, when you are so good in your own body, when you feel good, that is when you can make other people feel good as well. Okay, so with that, I conclude this video. And if you want to learn more about me and my work, definitely click the link below to learn more about the Awaken Your Alpha program. If you are someone who's committed to making 2020 the year that you finally turn your life around and want me to hold you accountable step by step along the way, then definitely click the link below to learn more about that. If you like this video, click a bunch of the buttons below so that you can see more of my videos as I release more of them every single day. If you dislike this video, definitely click the dislike button so that you never have to see me again. But with all that being said, this has been Saleem, and I will see you soon. or maybe not. Who knows?